Hello, welcome to my new show, Super Awkward Reviews with Elle, Latham, your hostess with the mostest in the room because no one else is here. I want to start by thanking everyone who listens to the Super Awkward Funcast on iTunes and Podbean.com. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We really appreciate it. Next time I'll probably have guests on and we'll be awkward together. It's even more awkward when I'm alone though and unfiltered. So if you know of my radio show, you know what I mean, my podcast, you know that everything I say just comes out. I don't prepare anything. Preparing is for wimps who aren't afraid to acknowledge their faults. I just made that up. And let's get started with this show, this new show that I'm making. One, I want to say, I watch a lot of television, and my mother tells me that I should go online and let everyone know what I think about what I watch, because she doesn't want me to tell her how I feel about shows, because she doesn't watch them. So it's kind of like I'm wasting all of that knowledge on someone who doesn't really get it. But she told me that she doesn't feel like she has to watch the show because I've recapped it so much that she feels like she already watched an episode. Enough about my mother. Let's talk about the mother. Bates Motel, guys. It's happening. It is fucking happening. This is R-rated, by the way. I want to say that I wasn't even ready for the beginning of the show this past week, spoiler alert. What happened was, in the first 5 minutes, my mind was blown because, one, Norma just left her little boys at home after finding out that the Dunkle, Caleb, is back in town and trying to get in Dylan's good graces and be a father to him. And she is not having it. She's still not over what happened, whatever happened back then that made Dylan. We don't know if it was a rape or if it was consensual incest, but I really, truly believe that, I mean, she's pretty sick sometimes, but I don't think she's sick enough to flowers in the attic with her brother. But anyway, it was pretty cool, because then she got out of the house and she got to go shopping. So who doesn't want to do that? Like, in your time of need, when you really want to get away from it all, you go shopping. So she shopped for a fur coat and she shopped for some other clothes, and she looked like a real trampy kind of girl, the kind of girl that her son would kill if he had the chance. So that was pretty interesting to see. I love the Psycho moment where she's at the car dealership and she gets the new car, the red, I forget what kind of car it was, but it was a red car, and I'm really bad with cars, whatever. So she gets the new car, and she's like throwing away her whole life, pretty much, shoots the crap out of her phone in the first few minutes of the thing, and I'm like, oh no, how is she going to find out about Romero? Because guess what happened to him? He got shot for digging his nose into things that affect his town, because he's the sheriff, as we all know, and he doesn't want this Marcus guy to be the new sheriff because he's pretty bad. And Romero's got his faults, yes, but he's not going to hurt the town. He really cares about this town, and mainly Norma, who is his first call when he's in the hospital. So he calls her, and she doesn't answer, of course, and he's worried about her because he thinks that she's their target, which she is, because she has the dreaded files on the USB from the other episode. So that's happening at the same time. Dylan and Emma, who I totally ship at this point because damn, dilemma, yes. They get closer because fucking Norman is fucking crazy. He is really going psycho, for reals. He has the dress, we all know he has his dress from his ma, Norma, and he is seeing her all the time. So now he's starting to become her, which is great because it's like going right into the mythos. And we are going to see Norma die at some point in the future, and it scares me because I love Farrah Farmiga's performance in this show. It's not even funny. we come back to Norma, and she's calling, guess who? The damn psychologist. Who I hate, by the way, who's creepy as fuck. I wouldn't hang out with that guy if he was the last guy on Earth. Shout out to the last man on Earth, on Fox. She visits him, they have a little hanky-panky, because she just needs some comfort. But she went to the wrong guy, in my opinion. I'm Normero 100%, guys. So, hashtag Normero. So he's been shot, he's in the hospital. Marcus goes and visits Alex Romero. He pays a visit to him and he threatens him, and you don't fuck with the sheriff in White Pines Bay, bitch. So he goes outside, and you know who shows up at his door to his car? Is Romero. And you know what? He's got a gun. He shoots him. He takes him into the car and they go off wherever they go. I don't even know where they go. And then Norma comes back home and notices something's up with Norman. He's fucking nuts still. And Norman, while Norman is being a weirdo and sleeping and like unresponsive, Dylan and Emma get closer, which I totally forgot to mention before. And she's like, oh, I'm getting sick, so you gotta bang on my chest so I can cough the shit out of my lungs. So romantic. And then once he does it, she actually coughs some shit up. It's really gross, but it's kind of sweet at the same time. And he's straddling her, and it's very So that's interesting. And all in the same bathroom, I think, that Norman almost drowned in the tub before, when he was trying to remember what he did to that girl. Dude, I mean, he just turned into, like, Freddie Highmore at the end of this episode, just, my gosh, so amazing. He just encaptured everything about Vera Farmiga's performance as Norma, and he was just so in character, and he didn't miss a beat. And he was just talking to Dylan like he was his mother, and Dylan's like, what the fuck is happening? I thought I was crazy for being around Caleb, now I gotta deal with this psycho shit? Anyway, at the end, Norma comes back, she runs into Caleb. You think, oh no, this is a big confrontation gonna happen. And it's sort of like, it reminds me of that moment, in a weird way, where Jack Twist and Ines Del Mar in Brokeback Mountain finally have their little discussion, and he breaks down in his arms. And it's all like, I wish I could quit you. It's sort of like that, but like a familial thing, except one of them raped the other. Supposedly, allegedly, probably, most likely. And, you know, you don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know. We're just left, like, thinking, okay, so how is Norma going to get back to Romero? What's with her phone? Is she going to get a new one? Like, I would totally have gotten a new phone while I was shopping. That's just me. I mean, I just think about these things. Just get a new phone, like a burner. Like, get a burner phone, Norma. Those are so easy to buy. Or a prepaid plan. Something, you know? So, anyway, the next episode is going to be really amazing. I'm really looking forward to Monday. And I hope you guys will be here for the next review that I come up with off the top of my head. My noggin. And let's see if Norman's still not right in his noggin. That'll be real fun. I want to discuss American Idol because a lot of people are talking about Quentin going off on Harry. So what happened with that was, Quentin sang a song, Are You Gonna Go My Way? And no, I don't think I will, because that just did not do it for me. There was just so much about that performance I couldn't really get into. But before that happened, we found out that the bottom two included Rayvon again, Teflon, Rayvon, and Joey Cook. Joey did a good performance of My Funny Valentine later, but the big thing was Quentin was upset visibly, and Ryan said, why are you upset? And he tried to start some shit. And then Quentin is like, this is whack. And then everybody went crazy all over the internet because, oh my gosh, he said this is whack. And said that this competition was messed up and that he didn't like the outcome of the results. So, obviously, Ryan later is going to say, I thought you were going to hit him about Harry, which did not make things any better. Ryan, don't say that shit. He's just trying to instigate shit, that Ryan. because you know what? AI isn't what it used to be, and they need to create chaos for people to tune in, and I think that's all this was Ryan just creating chaos. And then Harry making it even worse by saying the thing about how if he didn't want to be here, he didn't have to be here, and don't bite the hand that feeds you and all this stuff. But then it all got figured out in the next performance that Quentin had of Sound of Silence, which I would prefer to hear rather than his comments about the competition. But that doesn't mean that he deserves to be vilified in any way on the internet. But anyway, they shook hands, they left it alone. It was all good at the end. And Joey went home, unfortunately, but somebody's got to go home. And since the little kid isn't there anymore, I don't know who the hell it's going to be week to week. But more and more, I'm feeling like I'm not feeling Nick Fradiani like other people are feeling Nick Fradiani. I mean, he's okay, but I've heard better in a karaoke bar. Like, I don't know, he's just so blah. And he doesn't know who he is, and it's just like, ugh. Tiana really impressed me with her Proud Mary. But once again, Rayvon came up with a good performance in Always on My Mind and showed some sensitivity. And so he's still there, so I'm hoping he'll be there next week. But if Quentin leaves, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's kind of messed up that you would hold that against him. Let's judge him on his performances, not his emotional outbursts that only happen once. And if it happens again, maybe it's a thing and it's like a Kanye thing that's going to happen. But, I mean, let's not treat him like Kanye until he does some Kanye level shit. That's how I feel about it. So, that's basically all I want to say about American Idol. Anyway, it was pretty cool. And I enjoyed it. Mainly, my thing, the event of last week was Bates Motel, and then the Netflix event last week, as we all know, was Daredevil. And I want to discuss that with other people because I feel like that requires more than one person to discuss that show. So, tune in next week when I bring on someone else for this wonderful show. So, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and like my videos. It really makes a difference. Thank you so much, and I hope this went well for you as it did for me, and that's about it.